Calling to order the Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee meeting. It is Wednesday, May 29th at 3:32 p.m. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderman Palmer. Present. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Velazquez.
Present.
Vice Chair Browning.
Present.
Chair Schweitzer.
Present.
We have 4 present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. With that, we will move on to the approval of the minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderman Palmer. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
Vice Chair Browning.
Aye.
Chair Schweitzer.
Aye.
We have 4 aye votes.
Thank you. With that, we have approved the minutes of Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024, and we will move on to board bills for review. Item number 1 on the agenda is board bill number 27. Alderwoman Pam Boyd, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Committee, for letting me come before you on my board bill 27. Madam Clerk, could you please read the introduction?
Board Bill number 27, introduced by Alderwoman Pamela Boyd, an ordinance establishing a 4-way stop site at the intersection of Grape Avenue and Terra Lane, regulating all traffic traveling on Grape Avenue and Terra Lane at the intersection of Grape Avenue and Terra Lane.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Committee, I am presenting this board bill for the 4-way stop sign because this is a residential area and we have school buses that are coming through. So that means that it's jeopardizing the safety of the school children because people are not honoring those corners. And so the community feels that if we have the 4-way stop sign, then that will kind of slow traffic down to ensure the safety of children getting off the bus and crossing the streets.
Thank you, Alderwoman. I'll move through, unless we have any public comment or any written testimony.
We have none.
Okay, then I'll move through members of the committee for questions. Alderman Vollmer.
No question.
Alderwoman Velazquez.
No questions.
Vice Chair Browning.
No questions.
Okay, thank you. I also don't have any questions. I will note on the bill, everywhere it says Terra Lane, but on the map page, it says Grape Avenue and Tarta Lane. So just making that as a Scribner's error, that should be fixed before it moves any further, but not something we need an amendment for, I don't think. All right, Alderwoman Boyd, you're recognized to close.
Thank you again, Public and Infrastructure Committee. I ask for your approval of the Board Bill 27.
Thank you, Alderwoman Boyd. With that, I want to entertain a motion for a due pass recommendation for Board Bill number 27.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th. There's been a call for previous roll. Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, we have passed Board Bill number 27 with a due pass recommendation. Alderman Boyd, you are recognized on item number 2, Board Bill number 28.
Yes, ma'am. Again, this is a board bill for Board Bill 28. If the clerk could read the introduction to that bill, please.
Board Bill number 28, introduced by Alderwoman Pamela Boyd, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps pursuant to ordinance number 70333 as amended by ordinance number 71394 to calm the flow of traffic on the 5500 block of Era Avenue and the 1800 block of Eaton Lane, the 5600 block of Hiller Place, 5900 block of Park Lane, and the 5000 block of Claxton Avenue.
Alderman, please proceed.
And so on this is another safety issue in our communities because probably all the members at the table can relate to the unsafe driving that's in our residential streets. And so I'm asking for a favorable consideration of my bill, Board Bill number 28.
Thank you. Any public testimony or written comment on this bill?
We have none.
Alderman Valmer, any questions? No questions. Alderman Velazquez,
No questions.
Vice Chair Browning?
No questions.
Okay, thank you, Alderman Boyd. I do see you have a number of the streets that have multiple speed humps on each block. Are those longer blocks or?
Yes, and so what I did, because I knew that the chair would ask me about that, and what I did was, I asked streets to go out because they know the proper distance for each speed hump to tell me how many speed humps would be realistic for those blocks. And our streets are pretty long within my ward, and so it's usually the streets are usually like a 2-block radius because they're so long, and so that's why you have those number of speed humps.
Well, thank you, Alderman. I appreciate that, the diligence on that. With that, you're recognized to close.
And I ask for favorable consideration on Board Bill 28.
Thank you, Alderwoman. With that, I will entertain a motion for a due pass recommendation of Board Bill 28.
So moved. Previous roll.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 9th, seconded by the Alderman from the 5th. There's been a call for previous roll. Any discussion? Objection? Hearing no objection, we have passed Board Bill number 28 with a due pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderwoman.
Thank you so
Alderman,
much, Commissioner.
you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Alderman Sanye, you're recognized on Board Bill 39.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. This is a speed hump bill. I had one before you last session. In the 7th Ward, I do a little process where I have a document open for a series of months, and I'll allow residents to kind of put in their requests, and then I comb through them, eliminate the ones that are snow routes or first responder routes or things like that, and then see what's left, map up like, oh, 6 people requested this street, 6 people requested this one. Then I go to their neighborhood meeting and say, hey, everybody okay with this coming? And so this is the culmination of that work for our next round of speed humps. You'll see that there's 14 and the 7th Ward has 7 neighborhoods. And so there's about 2 speed humps per neighborhood because I also try to be very diligently in spreading our resources equitably and equally.
Okay, thank you for that explanation and the thorough process. Any public comment or written testimony on this one?
We have none.
Thank you. Alderman Valmer. No question. Alderman Velazquez.
Aye. No questions, sorry.
Thank you. Vice Chair Browning.
No questions.
Okay, I also don't have any questions, and I appreciate your process of doing this. It's really interesting. And with that, I will entertain a motion for a due pass recommendation, unless you have anything further.
Nothing further.
Okay, then we will entertain a motion for a due pass recommendation. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th. Do we have a second?
Second. Previous roll.
There's been a call for previous roll. Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, we have passed Board Bill number 39 with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, and for the record, I do like your earrings.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that that's on the record. We'll see that in the minutes next week. Thank you. Just making sure. So resolutions for review,
We have none.
committee discussions.
We have none.
We've already acknowledged a written testimony. We had none. Announcements. I will say that reminding everyone watching at home that next week we will have the Water Division here presenting to us their, I want to say, annual review of the Water Division. We've sent over a few dozen questions that have been compiled by members of this committee, members of the public, consumer advocates, people who are spending a lot of their time and energy researching the Water Division. And so they will be presenting to us next week, and we will be hearing a lot more about what's going on there and digging into it. So that's going to be the only thing in our agenda next week. Any further bills we will have on the June 12th meeting. So if you have a bill, if you're an alderman watching and you have a bill coming up, just expect that will be the next time we'll have a hearing for bills. Any other announcements? Okay. I would like to excuse Alderwoman Keys for necessary absence.
So noted.
And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second,
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th. There's been a call for previous roll. Any objection? Hearing no objection, we are adjourned. Jack, I'm gonna make you.